Welcome to Jhonna, Unfiltered. This is my learning diary about life, personalities, and pets. I'm not a vet, just a curious learner sharing what I find. And today we're talking about one of the most unusual dogs I've come across in my research, the Basenji. Before I get into it, I want to remind you that finding high-quality photos of rare breeds is genuinely difficult, so I'd love to feature your pets in future videos. If you want to see your dog or cat in one of my videos, you can email a photo along with their name, breed, and a short permission note to the email address in the description. I'd really love to meet your animals. Now, let's talk about the Basenji. The first thing most people learn about the Basenji is the thing that makes them immediately stand out from every other dog on the planet. They don't bark. Not because something is wrong with them, not because they've been trained not to, but because of the shape of their larynx, which is the part of the throat that produces sound. The Basenji larynx is built differently from most dogs, and the result is that instead of barking, they produce a sound that people often describe as a yodel, or sometimes called a baru. It's a genuinely strange and somewhat musical sound. Some people find it charming. Some people find it alarming the first time they hear it. But it's completely natural for this breed. This is part of what makes the Basenji so interesting. It's not a modern invention of selective breeding. It's an ancient breed from Central Africa, specifically from the Congo region. These dogs were used as hunting dogs by people in the African forests for thousands of years, valued for their speed, their silence, and their ability to flush prey out into nets. There are even images of dogs resembling the Basenji carved into ancient Egyptian artwork, which gives you some idea of just how old this breed actually is. Let me describe what they look like, since I know the photos in my videos don't always perfectly match what I'm describing. The Basenji is a small to medium dog, typically weighing around 9 to 11 kilograms and standing about 40 to 43 centimeters tall. They have a slim, athletic build, the kind that suggests speed and agility rather than bulk. Their coat is very short and smooth, which also means they don't have much of a doggy smell. They're quite clean animals, actually. One of the most distinctive physical features of the Basenji is their forehead. They have wrinkles on their forehead, especially when they're alert or curious, which gives them an expression that people often describe as permanently worried or perpetually thinking. It's actually quite endearing once you know what you're looking at. Their ears are upright and pointed, their eyes are almond-shaped, and their tail curls tightly over their back in a way that's quite specific to this breed. That curled tail is one of the key identifiers. Common color combinations include red and white, black and white, tricolor, and brindle. They typically live between 12 and 16 years, which is a solid lifespan for a dog of their size. Now, let's talk about personality, because this is where it gets really interesting for anyone thinking about bringing one into their life. The Basenji is often described as cat-like, and not just because of the grooming. They groom themselves. They're very clean. They're also independent, selective about who they trust, and not particularly motivated by pleasing their owner the way many dog breeds are. They're intelligent, but intelligence in a Basenji doesn't mean they'll eagerly follow commands. It means they'll figure out exactly what they want and find clever ways to get it. They can be manipulative in a funny way. They'll test limits. They'll decide whether a rule applies to them on a case-by-case basis. They're affectionate with the people they trust, but cautious and sometimes aloof with strangers. They need daily exercise and mental stimulation, and they're known for being escape artists. If there's a gap in a fence or a way over a wall, a Basenji will find it. So a securely fenced space is essential for anyone considering this breed. They also only have one breeding season per year, which is unusual among domestic dogs. Most dog breeds can breed multiple times throughout the year, but the Basenji follows a more primitive biological pattern with a single annual cycle, something they share with wolves and other wild canids. Now let me go through some of the breeds that people often confuse with the Basenji, or that have physical similarities worth knowing about. The Shiba Inu is probably the closest in overall appearance to most people's eyes. Both have a tightly curled tail that sits over the back, upright ears, a compact and athletic body, and a somewhat fox-like face. Both are also known for being independent and cat-like in personality. The clearest physical difference is the coat. Shiba Inus have a thick double coat that's fluffy and plush-looking, while Basenjis have very short, fine, almost sleek fur. The Shiba also has smaller, more triangular ears that tilt slightly forward, while Basenji ears are larger, more upright, and wider set. And, of course, the forehead wrinkles are unique to the Basenji. The Pharaoh hound shares the slim build, long legs, large upright ears, and short coat. They have a similar elegant, ancient-looking appearance. The main difference is size. Pharaoh hounds are notably bigger and taller. Their tail is also straight or slightly curved rather than tightly curled, and they don't have the wrinkled forehead. Pharaoh hounds are also more social and can bark normally. The Ibizan hound is similar in having that lean, athletic sighthound body, long legs, pointed ears, and short coat. But Ibizan hounds are significantly larger, almost twice the height of a Basenji, and their face is much longer and more narrow. Their tail is straight rather than curled. They were bred for rabbit hunting in the Mediterranean region, so the shared hunting background is there, but the physical scale is very different. The Canaan dog has some similarities in the alert upright ears, curled tail, and compact medium build that can make it resemble a Basenji at first glance. But the Canaan dog has a noticeably thicker, fluffier double coat compared to the Basenji's very short and fine fur. The Canaan also has less prominent forehead wrinkles. Both are considered ancient breeds, which gives them a similar primitive look overall. The Carolina dog, also called the American dingo, shares the short coat, slim body, alert ears, and primitive appearance. However, their tail is less tightly curled than a Basenji's, and they don't have the distinctive forehead wrinkles. Carolina dogs also tend to be a bit more social and less intensely independent than the Basenji. The Azawak is a breed from West Africa with a very slender, elegant body, a short coat, and long legs that makes it look somewhat similar to the Basenji in terms of build. But the Azawak is significantly taller, sometimes reaching up to 75 centimeters, which makes the size difference quite obvious once you know to look for it. Azawaks also tend to be more protective and reserved rather than the Basenji's particular brand of curious independence. So to summarize the quick visual guide, if you see a dog with a tightly curled tail sitting over its back, wrinkles on its forehead, large upright ears, a slim athletic body, and a very short smooth coat, that's most likely a Basenji. The wrinkled forehead combined with a tightly curled tail is fairly unique to this breed and helps distinguish it from the others I mentioned. The Shiba Inu is the closest in overall appearance, but with a much fluffier coat. The Pharaoh hound and Ibizan hound match the body shape better, but are significantly larger. The Canaan dog and Carolina dog are the closest in primitive look, but have different coats and tail shapes. If you're considering the Basenji as a pet, it's important to be honest about what you're getting into. This is not a beginner's dog. It's not a breed that will eagerly follow rules because it wants to make you happy. It's intelligent, athletic, curious, and has its own strong sense of what it wants to do. It needs consistent engagement, a securely enclosed space, and an owner who finds independence charming rather than frustrating. For the right person in the right situation, though, they're genuinely fascinating animals. Before I close, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever encountered a Basenji in person, or do you own one? And does the yodel sound live up to the reputation, or is it different from what you expected? Drop your experience in the comments, because I think real owner stories are the most honest way to understand what a breed is actually like to live with. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I want to be upfront and share that I use this text-to-speech voice to tell my stories because as a full-time ESL teacher, I have to be very careful with my vocal cords. Managing vocal nodules means I have to save my voice for my students, but I didn't want that to stop me from sharing these unfiltered thoughts with you. I'm Jhonna, and I'm currently working toward my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can finally monetize this channel and turn this passion into a sustainable part of my future. This is my diary of solo living here in the Philippines, and your support, whether through a comment or a sub, helps me keep this channel growing. If you would like to help out even more, you can check out the Buy a Treat for My Pets link in the description. My dogs definitely appreciate the love. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the next update. Thank you for being such an important part of this journey. I'm Jhonna, and I will see you in the next one.